Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We're on a mission to completely demystify warehouse logistics. If you've ever stared at one of those massive distribution centers and just wondered, how on earth do they keep track of it all? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to transform how you view a warehouse. We're taking it from just a simple building where stuff sits around and turning it into a high-performance, precision-engineered engine for your business. Think about it like this. An optimized warehouse truly acts as the central nervous system of the modern supply chain. It's so much more than just shelves and boxes, right? It's a carefully orchestrated series of processes. Every single day, you're out there balancing total precision, making sure the exact right item is picked, with absolute speed, getting it out the door fast enough to meet today's incredibly demanding consumer expectations. Okay, let's dive into our game plan for today. We'll start with planning and layout strategies, then master the inbound journey. After that, we'll cover smart storage and slotting, optimize the outbound engine, tackle returns, quality, and tech, and finally, build out your warehouse excellence roadmap. Kicking things off with Section 1, planning and layout strategies. Because let's be real, you absolutely cannot optimize your daily operations if you don't get the physical foundation right first. And this really brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. Just look at the contrast here. In a wrong layout, you've got mixed stock, no clear working areas, and it's just complete chaos that inevitably leads to delays. But when you flip that to a smart layout, it's meticulously organized. You'll notice designated clear zones for receiving, storage, and dispatch. A massive takeaway for you here is to keep your fast-moving items placed right up near the dispatch area to kill off unnecessary travel time. A smart layout literally equals smooth operations. Now, when you're actually mapping out that space, you've generally got two primary flow setups. A U-shaped layout places your shipping and receiving on the exact same side of the building. This is fantastic because it lets your staff share dock resources and equipment. An I-shaped flow, on the other hand, is a straight line design. Goods come in one end and go straight out the other. If you're running a rapid, super high volume operation, this straight line is going to be your best friend for preventing traffic jams and bottlenecks. And choosing the right facility type really dictates your whole strategy. Public warehouses, they're great for startups that need flexible, scalable space. Private ones are perfect for high-volume enterprises wanting total, uncompromised control. 3PLs or fulfillment centers let growing e-commerce brands just outsource the logistics headache entirely. And then you have smart warehouses, which leverage relentless 24/7 automation and robotics to keep massive volumes moving without missing a beat. All right, now that we have the blueprint sorted, let's move into the operational engine itself. Section 2, mastering the inbound journey. Because all of this begins the second a truck bumps your dock. Listen, receiving is your ultimate gatekeeper. To prevent downstream chaos, you've got to be strict here. First, unload and verify everything against your purchase orders. Second, inspect for quality immediately so you catch any damage before it's your problem. Third, log that receipt securely into your software, usually through a goods receipt note. And finally, stage it cleanly for Putaway. Nailing these steps guarantees your digital system perfectly matches your physical reality on the floor. From staging, those goods need a home. That brings us to Section 3, smart storage and slotting. Putaway is definitely not just tossing boxes on the first empty shelf you see. It's a highly strategic game of space optimization. So, the crucial question is how you decide where things actually go. That brings us to ABC analysis, which is a total game changer. You classify your inventory by velocity, meaning how fast it moves. Your A items, usually the top 20% of your products, driving 80% of your sales, need to be stored in your golden zones. We're talking waist height, right near the packing stations. Doing this drastically minimizes the miles your pickers walk every day and absolutely skyrockets your throughput. To manage all this effectively, you need the right digital tools. People constantly confuse IMS and WMS, so let's clear that up. An inventory management system, or IMS, looks at the broader supply chain. It's figuring out what you need to order and when, handling forecasting and reorder points. A warehouse management system, or WMS, is the digital brain orchestrating the physical, on-the-ground tasks inside your four walls: receiving, put away, picking, and packing. They definitely overlap, but their core jobs are totally distinct. Okay. With your inventory perfectly slotted and managed, it's time to shift gears. Section 4, optimizing the outbound engine. This is the heavy lifting of actually getting the product out to your customer. I really want to grab your attention with this next number, 55%. Order picking can account for up to 55% of your total warehouse operating expenses. more than half. The stakes for optimizing this specific process are absolutely massive. Every unnecessary step a worker takes out there on the floor is eating directly into your profit margins. Think of order picking like pulling ingredients for a recipe from a giant pantry. You've got a few ways to do it. Discrete picking is just doing one order at a time. It's simple, but man, it involves a lot of walking. Batch picking is much smarter. You gather the same items for multiple orders in one single trip. Zone picking keeps your staff in specific aisles, and they just pass orders along kind of like a relay race. Upgrading to batch or zone picking severely reduces those walking miles and starts slashing away at that huge 55% expense. Once an order is picked, the packing stage isn't just throwing items into a cardboard box. First, you verify the order with a final scan. Then you have to right-size the box. This is critical for slashing dimensional weight shipping costs. Finally, add the proper protection and securely label it. In packing, you're constantly balancing material efficiency with delivering a great unboxing experience for the customer. And look at the financial impact if you get that packing step wrong. Shipping damages run up a staggering bill of roughly $1 billion annually in the US alone. Let that sink in. Proper packing, utilizing the correct right-sized box and the right void fill, directly combats this billion-dollar problem. It saves your inventory, and more importantly, it saves our customer relationships. The final outbound step is dispatch. This is the crucial handshake with your carriers. You sort by carrier, generate your manifests, safely load up those trucks, and hit them with a final outbound scan. This is a heavily deadline-driven environment, folks. If you miss a strict carrier cutoff time, say 5 p.m. for UPS, you just broke your delivery promise to your customer. Precision here is simply non-negotiable. But hey, the journey doesn't end just because the truck left the dock. Section 5, returns, quality, and tech. This is essentially the mirror image of fulfillment, and it requires some highly specialized attention. Brace yourself for this metric. Up to 30% of all online orders result in returns. If you are in e-commerce, returns are not an exception to the rule. They are a massive, permanent part of your business model. This creates an absolute necessity for an efficient reverse logistics triage system, where you can quickly grade coming back items and decide on the spot whether to restock, refurbish, or liquidate them. We also want to look at advanced techniques that bypass traditional storage altogether, like cross-docking. This is a just-in-time strategy where you take an inbound pallet and move it almost immediately onto an outbound truck. High-velocity supply chains rely heavily on cross-docking to slash inventory holding costs and dramatically speed up their order fulfillment. Well, we have covered a tremendous amount of ground today. Let's tie it all together into Section 6, your Warehouse Excellence Roadmap. Let's move to the real meat of this and see how it builds into an actionable plan you can use. First, align your layout with your actual throughput goals. Second, integrate barcode or RFID technology for zero-error receiving right at the dock. Third, continuously reslot your floor using that ABC analysis so your fastest movers stay close to the packers. Fourth, implement routine cycle counting to keep your system data hyper-accurate. And finally, thread quality control through every single process, not just at the very end. You now possess the blueprint for transforming a chaotic storage space into a sleek, high-performance logistics engine. Efficiency, accuracy, inventory visibility, these aren't just corporate buzzwords. They are the very levers of your profitability. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your operations. Look at your layout. Look at your data. How will you transform your own warehouse facility starting tomorrow? Start small, but start optimizing. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.